There were countless heroes on that September morning when the Washington Navy Yard was just thrown into utter chaos.
But that was just me like screaming out because I didn't want to deal with it.
I knew I was addicted, and I tried to stop on my own, and I couldn't.
It's okay to ask for help.
Or survive like an alcohol or substance abuse problem. You know, it's just, I've never seen it.
And we are live. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Loomis Show. And tonight, I'm running this one solo. My good friend Keith Shibley is on vacation. So, Keith, I hope you're enjoying your vacation, my friend. I'm going to try to hold this down on my own. It's always better, though, to have a co-host, you know, to bounce things off, though. But we want to stay consistent. I know this one was at 7:30, but me and Keith's show will always be every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, weekly. We just want to stay consistent this way so that people who start, following us and liking the content know that every Wednesday, 7 p.m., me and Keith will be live. And Keith is, if you guys are new here, police officer out in Virginia who's been involved with, the DC shooting, all that type of stuff, the plane crash that just happened with the Olympic skate team. That's just the stuff that's known on the news and stuff, but he's seen a lot, been through a lot, and with addiction and all that, that's where our stories are similar on the addiction aspect. Or like he says, our stories are very similar. He just says, though, that, it's just a job. That's his job. So I hope Keith and his family are having a fantastic vacation. Miss you, Keith, and we'll see you next Wednesday. First time here, hit that like button. Helps get this moving. Subscribe to the channel. And before I say my hellos to the chat, I just want everyone to know that I'm going to be impartial on this episode. And I've seen a few things, a couple episodes out there lately that inspired this. And I'm not even really like in the mob genre anymore. We're working on like a big documentary that's in production. So, but, I like to dip my toes back in it because that's what, it originated as from the beginning with Mafia truth and all of that type of stuff. Hope you guys are all right out there with the heat. I had to get an air conditioner yesterday, though, for the office, and until that was 2 days ago. I had to take 3 showers from just standing outside. It's brutal out there in northeastern Pennsylvania here. But subscribe up, and let's say some hellos to the chat. And please feel free to comment, talk shit, whatever you want, anything goes, as long as it's not racial, degrading women, anything like that. Then we always, pretty lenient with everyone in the chat. Bobby Bright, the man, how you doing, my friend? He is highly motivated from all the years he's done in solitary. I think people dismissed his hard mental strain that is on a human being. People never been locked up, etc. Great point, Bobby. Great point. And I'm going to get into that before, and I'm going to come back to your comments, Bobby, when I start telling my piece. And Tracy, what is going on? Great to see you there. As always, Trace, glad you're here. I know you're out there in the UK, but we love having you here. There's my man, Matt. Great to see you, Matt, as always. Frank, how you doing, my friend? Always great to see you. Mark, what's going on? Mark Savastano. That your cousin, the cop? No, just a good friend. We did an episode a while back. The name of the episode was, and Keith, he's different. You know what I mean? When you talk to, you'll understand like his mentality. But we did an episode called Fighting Crime and Demons with Keith Shibley. And we just hit it off. And I was like, hey, man, would you want to do a weekly segment live? And he was all about it. And but no blood relation, nothing like that. Just a good friend. And he'll be back next week. John, what's going on? Michael Franzese is a rat, so even if he isn't a true Christian, he still can't even be a member of his old Borgata. He was taken out of the game for telling on future made guys Cap Regime and Norby. Oh, Capione. Listen, John, I always screw up last names, so don't ever get offended or anything. People who know the show, they know me. They know I'm terrible with last names. So I apologize up front. But we're going to get into all of that. And I don't like Jordan, what's going on? Thank you for being here, my man. Great to see you as well. Keith is he's solid, man. He's solid. You would never even know he's a cop. That's how he's so good with UC work. Great guy. And I can't wait to have him back, though, next week. But I'm going to go into my little segment here and get back into, what Bobby was saying and everything like that. All right, there's a channel out there that I absolutely love. And the name of that channel is Crime and Entertainment with Hollywood Wade right there. That's the name of it. The link for that is in the description. And also another channel out there, Taking Action with Chris Colombo, Joe Colombo's son. And Chris, if you're watching this, got the green screen screwing it up, but got the Italian American Civil Rights League captain pin here from the Buffalino family. Good friends with them. And that's actually the project, though, that we're working on. But so they just recently did a series with Wild Bill's kid, Bill Catola. And I'll give you a little sneak peek, though, of it right here.
Looking back, do you think that the pain and the anger you felt from losing your dad, who I can tell throughout this interview, you've gotten emotional a number of times, you love dearly. That's obvious. And you stated that in many interviews. And I think anyone can just look at your face and tell you how much your dad meant to you. Do you think that just overtook so much that you didn't maybe listen to maybe a message from him? Like, what would he do in that position?
That's a great question. I felt like I was having multiple feelings. The first feeling was to go out and to hurt people.
So that's actually a 4-part series, and it's on Crime and Entertainment, which is the link is in the description, and it's also on Chris's show, Taking Action with Chris Colombo, right there as well. They mixed the parts up there. I think it's a 4-part series that they did. Now, Bobby, going back to what you said, I just want to say something though about this gentleman though right here first. This guy right here in this whole genre, if he even, I don't even think he considers himself though in this genre with his channel and stuff. But you want to talk about a pure heart and genuine soul who can't be bought, who stands on his beliefs, doesn't chase money, doesn't chase views. I mean, he was on Michael's show like a while back, a year ago. And I just want to give you some clips though right here though of the series I showed you of what Christo had to say.
God, where was he? He was lost. People know I spoke with on a thing. I never speak with him personally. Michael Franzese, but Sonny was there when I died. The most stand-up guy in the world. And his nonsense. You think he's a happy character? Trying to make who he is, what he is. Oh, he's affecting children in the wrong way. It'll ruin your life. What is the message you're saying? Rob, steal, kill your friends, kill anybody you want, go to work for the government, kill, then become an informant, write a book? Michael Franzese, I'm going to tell you the truth. If every time he lied, my nose grew, forget about it. I could tickle Thailand and go around the world in 80 days. I could forget about Elon Musk. Every time one of these informants I see on TV lie, Sammy the Bull, and they lie. You don't think they lie in a courtroom? Don't you think they pass their sins to other people? Don't they make themselves look like heroes? If every time they told the non-truth, Elon Musk would not have to build that rocket to Mars, you could walk on my nose to get there. Like Pinocchio, every time they lied. So people got to learn not to be directed or pass hate if they don't absolutely know. I couldn't absolutely tell you what's the truth if it comes from an informant. I listen to them live, for example. And if I hit this gong, I'm pretty upset.
Now, that's a gentleman, though, who's obviously there. And, Joe Colombo's son. And he's been around all these guys. And that series is fantastic, that 4-part series where Bill Catola was reaching out, though, to him, though, for a while. And Chris agreed to have a talk with them. And I'll let you guys know. Check it out for yourself. The links are in the description. And it's about Billy after his father, though, was killed, making a decision, though, to cooperate. And, obviously Chris disagreed with that. And they talk it out. And I'll let you guys know. Check that out on yourself. Wade put together a fantastic series. And we're going to go from that now to my opinion. All right. Who am I to judge or say someone's religious beliefs aren't true or anything like that? I just, because we never could know that. Well, that man right there, 100%, you could tell his heart is pure as gold. But before COVID, Michael was doing the tour around. First of all, I'll just say he's a brilliant businessman. I'll give him that. Brilliant, 100%. Great speaker, great businessman, 100%. But when you become a born-again Christian, I know a lot of them, you're 100% pure. You don't hide from anything. You tell it like it is. You don't, what's that saying? To deal around the tulips or a bit I forget the sayings, me, my mind's always all over the place, but tipsy around the tulips or whatever. You're just pure. You just let everything out. It's not, it just comes out naturally and stuff. And, my good friend right here, Wade, he went out there. He did an interview with Michael. He paid $2,000 travel expenses all the way out to California. Did the interview with them. Mike never aired it. Just little stuff though like that. And when he's asked, if he killed anyone, I understand that he doesn't have immunity and he can't talk about that stuff though. But he always has to be like, well, I don't have immunity and this and that. I personally don't think he killed anyone. And that's a good thing. Just say you didn't kill anybody. The mob needs people who can make money. And he was trusted because of Sonny. I don't think that he would have had to have killed someone, though, to be made, because that's how influential Sonny Franzese was. And he was away. So it was like Michael stepped in and was helping him out. That's my opinion. I don't, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I'm just saying, if he didn't, then say you didn't. It just, and then Brett, when he was on here, and this is why I'm saying it, because he already said it publicly, he glorifies the life. He glorifies that life. And because when his YouTube show started, he was talking about the Christian stuff and talking about this and that. Then he did something on the mob. The numbers went boom, and now everything's mob. I get it. Listen, this channel right here that I'm doing, this episode isn't even being monetized. I'm not doing this for views. I'm not doing this for money. I enjoy doing this stuff. Okay. But we're all opportunists to it. We all are opportunists, but there's a certain way about being about opportunists. And am I questioning that he doesn't believe in Jesus Christ and all that type of stuff? No, I'm sure that he does. I'm just saying that a lot of things, though, don't add up. He can't admit that he informed. And I know a lot of people, though, are going to be like, he didn't put anyone in jail. Well, if you know anything about that life, that doesn't mean anything. Okay, me and Bobby commit a crime. We both get busted. I end up, though, cooperating on Bobby. Bobby's got a great attorney. Bobby gets off. So I didn't cooperate. I mean, I don't know. You guys take a look for yourself from my good friends from Mob Facts.
Was present at Monty's restaurant in Brooklyn when Russo would meet with other managers and fight promoters regarding Antifermo's opponents. The bouts would be arranged and certain family members would be assured of the outcome. However, when it came time for Vito to fight Marvelous Marvin Hagler for their first title bout at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, we were told the outcome was not predetermined and that we were on our own with regard to any bets we might place. Both myself and Russo and about 10 other Colombo family members attended the fight and the post-victory party. Actors James Caan and Burt Young also attended the party with us, since both are friends of Russo and other family members.
When were you inducted into the Colombo family, and can you describe your induction ceremony?
I was inducted in 1975. It was Halloween night, and it was a ceremony that I guess it has been described in the past, but was a certain oath that I had to take and a certain procedure that was followed.
So my point is, I think you just have more respect. Just say, yes, I absolutely don't cooperate though with the government. And this whole he didn't put anybody in jail thing, then you just don't understand then how that though works. And I don't pass judgment. I don't even use that R word rap, because, until you're put to that test. But I do though want to go to something though that Bobby mentioned though, that is great. That, he has a good point. Because a lot of us, we just see what we see, and we don't really realize what these guys, though, have been through when they lose their freedom. Bobby said he's a highly motivated from all the years he's done in solitary. I think people dismiss this hard mental strain that is on a human being. People never been locked up, etc. Well, that's what I was going though with Bobby with the R word, because I wasn't put to that test, so who am I, though, to yell, rat, 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 rat? I always say now, people who were put to the test, absolutely. They could say, no, what they want. But I'm just saying, though, with the glorification, though, I just think, he glorifies that life. And instead of like, telling kids though that it's not a good life. Like everyone's all like thinks this is a glorious, glorious life, and it absolutely isn't. It's your loved ones get killed, people go to prison, a lot of kids are fatherless, all that type of stuff. And I mean, right there, he mentioned Russo. Russo, he was a good friend of Russell Buffalino. He was his captain though at the time. I mean, he's guy cooperated. So let's just get that though out of the way. But that's not what this is about though. It's let's see what you said here too, Bobby. Second, you can take the street out of the boy, but you can't take the boy from the street. He's done his theology, which is astounding achievement to find a way to pass the time in there. And then Bobby goes, look at me. I have really changed. Would I lie to help a friend, etc.? Damn right I would. I don't understand that one, Bob, with the lie. What do you mean lie to help a friend? I mean, of course, yeah, I would lie to help a friend 100%. But meaning, to him, I just don't understand where you're coming from. He's highly intellectual. Yes. But that's not though what we're talking about here. Yes, he's very highly intellectual though, but we're just saying though the motives, and I just think though that, like Chris was talking about there, Colombo, like what's the message though to the kids out there? Everything's a marketing thing. Come join my family. You could be a capo regime. It's an offer you can't refuse, and all of this type of stuff and this and that. Yes, it's genius marketing, and I get it. And the mob stuff is big stuff like that. But then you got a pure guy like Chris there, who's Joe Colombo's son, who, if he went that angle, could be making tons of money, tons, and he can't be bought. He just absolutely can't be bought. I'm sure he uses his street ways to get ahead, but so do I. Has he changed for the better is the question, I think. Am I a bad person? No, you're not a bad person. I'm not saying that he's a bad person. I think, Bobby, you're missing the point of this. I'm not saying that he's a bad person whatsoever. I'm saying that the stuff, though, that he talks about is contradictory to, to stuff, though, that I just shown. That's all. I'm not saying he's a bad person. Who am I to say, though, that he doesn't, though, believe in God or any of that? I just know a lot of people, though, who are, though, born again Christians, and, you could, I'm pretty good judge of character, and you could just tell when it flows out. Do I think that he believes in God? 100%, absolutely, he does, yes. But I just think, though, that this, though, really isn't, though, a life, though, that should be glorified. And you even told me that a bunch of times because you lived it. And you know the pain that it causes. I mean, you lost your best friend in the world. And many other, though, things that you've been through. So I understand what you're saying. I just want you to understand, though, my point so that we're on, though, the same page here. You use what you know. Let me see. Oh, hold on 1 second. I'm still all the way up to the highs. DJ, how you doing? Great to see you, my friend. Thanks for being here. Shane Smith. Shane, how are you? Franzese wasn't happy with just taking the money. He's returned for your soul. That's a powerful line right there. Thank you for your comment, Shane. William from Brooklyn, salute to you as well. And I think you guys understand. I'm not, though, knocking, though, the guy. I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying, when you see, and other people are just going to yell, rat, 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 but John Elite, let's say, for example, every episode that he does, he always, though, talks, though, about helping, though, the kids, like helping the children, helping this and that, all that type of stuff. That mafia lifestyle is so treacherous and brutal that I just think that, you know, with a highly intellectual person like Bobby just said, like with Michael, I just think though that it'd be nice, you know, be a little refreshing though to use that though to help though the children and help kids not take that route and this and that. There was a video with him and Sammy sitting down and Sammy didn't say this. Michael said this though, but he's like, we never like extorted people. We never hurt people. That's a bunch of bullshit. Like, give me a break. He said it to Sammy. And when they were sitting in this booth, and I forget where they were at, he's like, and people think that we hurt people and we extorted people, and well, you did. You know what I mean? Like, come on, like, wake up. There are a lot of people that didn't step it up for the reason they didn't want to be on that level and be put in that position to tell on friends. You said, has he changed? I say yes. Okay. Would he have changed though if he didn't though get arrested? See, that's a tough one though too, because like Bobby said, when you're in the hole, it's a whole different though animal that'll psychologically do whatever to your mindset. And you know, and he had the Bible to read and all this type of stuff. And I know his wife was very influential and very religious. Yeah, he absolutely though has changed. He's not doing illegal stuff in that regard, excuse me. But like I said, I'm trying to be as impartial and let you guys decide what you think. He's a brilliant person. He when he was going on tour doing all of those talks, he would be flown across the country just strictly talking about like how he was a mob guy, and then talking about the religious stuff. Then COVID hit, you know, he knew, well, boom, he went right on YouTube. And because he's very, very business savvy. And that's how he was killing it in the gas scam and made all that money back in the day. Dominic, what's up, my friend? I believe the modern day public facing Franzese is a gimmick inside his home and personal life. I'm not one to judge. Wait, I believe the modern day public facing Franzese is a gimmick. Wait, I'm going to make sure I'm reading this right. I believe the modern day public facing Franzese is a gimmick inside his home and his personal life. I'm not one to judge. So are you saying right there though that it's a gimmick though, like on the YouTube stuff, the modern day type stuff, but in his personal life, you're not one to judge? Because that's what I'm saying. I'm not one to judge though, like, you know, his religion, anything like that whatsoever, because you can't say, oh, you can't, like if I tell you guys, hey guys, you know, I believe in Jesus, and you could all say, no, you know, blah, blah, blah. You don't know. And plus, you know, the one person you can't scam is God. He knows your heart. But I think what you're saying, Dominic, is like, you know, kind of on the same page though of where I'm at though with it. I get your point big time. Shane, what's up? Hey, Loomis. Great convo. You're welcome, William. Thank you for saying that, my friend. Bobby, not you glorify him, but he did what he had to do to raise his family. That's all. Oh, yeah, no, that's not what we're talking about at all. And he was fine, though, before all that. I'm just saying, though, with the glorification, and I mean, like, you know, why they'll have Wade, they'll go out there. Guy pays $2,000. He doesn't have money like Michael. Sits down in his house, does an interview, and then he just doesn't even release it. I mean, come on. You know, I'm just saying this guy right here, he's the real deal as far as I'm concerned, where it comes to I can't be bought. I am a God-fearing man. That's Chris Colombo. And Chris Colombo, I mean, come on, Joe Colombo's son. He could be making extraordinary amounts of money telling his stories from guys he knew back in the day because he was around all those guys or this or that. He can't be bought. His heart is pure when it comes to that aspect. My opinion, I do believe that he absolutely, though, believes in God and in Jesus and all that stuff. I just think that old habits die hard, and that he's going to take advantage of whatever brings in the numbers. For example, what's he passionate about? Now, I'm passionate about music. I'm passionate about getting this project, though, done, stuff like that, right? Well, at first, he's passionate, though, about speaking about how God, though, changed his life and this and that. But then, though, once, though, the numbers, though, went up with the mob stuff, it kind of seemed like it changed. And listen, it's brilliant marketing. I get it. I'm not, see, this isn't me knocking the guy. I'm just saying when he's saying things like we didn't extort or we didn't hurt people, like we as like the mob. Come on, guys. Like, wake up. Like, please. Absolutely they did. Not all of them. All of them lived by, now, hurting each other's one thing. They all agreed. They all knew what they were getting involved with. So, like soldiers, at war, they know what they're getting. They know the stakes. But I'm talking about the innocent shop owners and this or that and taxing them and this and all that type of people that weren't though around and stuff like that. If you're going to tell me that stuff didn't go on, give me a break. What we see on YouTube is a gimmick, is my opinion. Oh, I got you, Dominic. Okay, you know what confused me, buddy? And it's me. Don't forget, I'm not bright. I believe the modern day public facing Franzese is like modern day is a gimmick inside his home and his personal life. I'm not one though to judge. Yeah, but greed, though, is one of the 7 deadly sins, isn't it? And I guess I just judged right there. I mean, I apologize because I should, though, be remaining impartial. This is for the show. Listen, I think the guy is a fantastic speaker. I think that he is extremely intelligent. When I want him working on, if I own something and I want him, I'd be top on my marketing team, 100%. I'm not discrediting that at all. That is not what we're saying here. Frank Ferraro says snake oil salesman. Thanks for the comment, Frank. See, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be impartial, and I knew this was going to be a touchy topic, but I don't care. I haven't, though, really talked about mob stuff, though, in a while, and I don't give a fuck, like, to be honest, if people like it or don't like it. I just think it's a very interesting topic. He's a very influential individual, and I just wanted to hear some of your take on it. For 10 years in solitary because he wouldn't vote, operated more. He didn't do 10 years in solitary. Not at all. He'll tell you that he didn't do 10 years in solitary. I believe he did, which is, I think 1 month in solitary is insane. He did 3 years. I think it was 3.5 in solitary. His sentence was 10 years. I think he, out of that, he served maybe, I think it was 8, but he got out, but then he violated and stuff like that. But he wasn't in a room for 10 years by himself, like solitary. They bring you the shower like twice every week, and then you go out to the cage for not one bit. And he cooperated as well. So he got a deal. A book lie God-fearing. A bookly God-fearing. He's lucky the laws have changed in gambling. Well, a lot of guys, think about it, Bobby. A lot of the stuff from the old timers back in the day is legal now. You know what I mean? The government just took a lot of what they were doing and said, hey, we're going to do it now and tax the people. It's really what it's really what they did. I see not a gimmick, Loomis. You're doing your thing, man. You don't deal in YouTube drama. I see no gimmick in Loomis. No, what gimmick do I have, man, to say? I'm not here to lie or whatever. Me, I'll just tell you is right now. I was a drug addict practically my whole life. I got clean. I'm going to be clean 4 years on Thanksgiving. And I don't count the days when I was inside. It would actually be a little bit sooner, but no, it's, and that's the thing with me. I'm not going to kiss ass. A lot of people kiss ass to the people that are higher up, though, and like when they do these genres, maybe for opportunities and all that, though. But I don't do that. I always admit my wrongs. I always admit my wrongs from a certain situation that happened not too long ago with a video. And then when I saw something produced, I admitted I was wrong. The numbers on the video were going through the roof. If you got the YouTube studio, it shows you they were flying. Is already over $100 with the arrow still going on like this, and I took it down because it's just not. I'm not going to put anything out that I don't believe in personally, and that's not me being like, oh, look at me, I'm a great guy. No, I have many flaws. I'm not a great guy. All right, I'm honest these days. I can say that much, but great guy. I don't know. I'm just my life's been weird the past year and a half with my father and everything like that. So it's hard though to be there for a lot of other people. But I always say, and I don't feel ashamed to say this, family is first, and it always will be first when it comes to that. We can't let go of this move life. Hey Roseanne, how are you? If you could rewrite that, hon, I don't understand. B can't let go of his mob life. Oh, he can't let go of his mob life. Yes. I understand now. I got it. I got it. Thank you for the comment, Roseanne. Bobby Bright, Loomis is the man. Straight up honest, beautiful man. Thank you, Bobby. You're the man as well. I love you. If you guys haven't watched our episode with Bobby Bright, Bobby's been through it. Bobby's the real deal. And one of my best friends who, both of us, well, I don't want to speak anything, Bobby, on you. That's, personal or anything though like that though. But, I'd already be out there, my man, with you if I could, that. And, but we're going to make that happen, my man. We're like in the middle, like we're in production. Everything's going fantastic though with our project. So Shane Smith, Jimmy Baker, Jimmy Swaggart. If you want to expand those, I don't act like I know everything, so I don't know those names, Shane. So if you want to write them in, that'd be great. That's another thing. Like people always be like, "Oh my God, you didn't know that? You didn't know that?" No, I don't know everything. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna admit if I don't know something, but a lot of yous educate me, and I love yous for it. Great debate. I like to say more on your show. Yeah, Bobby. Well, you're always welcome. Always. Isolated. 10 years. That's not true, though, Bobby. That's not just meaning the time-wise, but I don't care. Like a year in solitary is insane. Wasn't 10 years. Keith, what's up? Sorry, everyone. I'll be back next week. There he is. Keith, enjoy your vacation. Make sure you hit this like button. And now just breaking balls, but there's the man right there, Keith Shibley, the other host of the show. Right there. Enjoy your vacation, my man. And we'll definitely see you next week, buddy. Thanks for stopping by, saying hello, and appreciate you, Keith. 7:00 every Wednesday, guys. And it's always open forum, open chat. And, we're going to also be having guests on that we'll be talking to. And this is for the live stream because I got a lot of good episodes coming out that I'm already that I have pre-recorded in the archives already. And one of them, though, which was recent, I have part 2 of Larry Rolla, but welcome to the family from Angela Pisano. This was a very, very, very fascinating interview that I had, though, with her and about her father, and just fascinating. And if you guys follow my Instagram, it is inside the description. Click on that and you can see clips of everything. Follow the Buffalino family as well. That is also inside the description. Click on that, give it a follow, and thank you for the 2,000 followers on that as well. And a lot of great stuff coming though with the Buffalino family. A lot of great stuff. It's okay, Roseanne. I do it all the time. Wait, Bobby, have content here. I'll support. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And Bobby, throw the link up, though, to your channel. I don't have my mods. Your channel's so hard, though, to find. Loomis, Bobby, Frank, come out. My eyes are stinging. It's going in the morning. Loomis, read up my comments. XX. I know, Tracy. That's what 7 o'clock, I know, is a little bit earlier for you, though, but I know you're in the UK, and we always appreciate your support, and thank you so much. And before you do go, I will absolutely, did I miss some? Oh, yeah. You take it easy, please. Frank, as you always, because I'm not, I like to get to everything. Well, I see that it says you're doing good. I'll check out the other ones if I miss, Tracy, but you be well. You be well. Thanks as always. Where we at? I'm so happy for you, bro. Thank you, Bobby. I love you to death, man. You're the man. Tracy, be well. Good night, guys. Had to stop by and say hi, brother. Absolutely, Keith. Thank you, man. I can't wait to have you back. Doing these solos isn't easy. Frank, you too, Veronica Clayton, you do great work and honestly tell your truth. Real stand-up guy. Great show. Yeah, I think he's showing Michael so he can't lie to himself. Thank you, Veronica. And I always see you supporting, and I appreciate you so much. Just isolated for 10 years, and the guards always messing with you, especially your male. Yeah, no, I understand that. I don't know the conditions, though, that, exactly, though, that he was in and all that, but that's not what I'm saying. My point, though, being is the guy cooperated, hands down, so let's just get that out of the way. Everyone needs to stop with the, nobody went to prison. That doesn't matter. That does not matter. Is he a judge? That doesn't matter. Just admit it. I just think if someone admits it, like, you got guys out there like looking at Anthony Aralotta, he's doing good. He's doing good. He admits he cooperated. Just admit it. That's all. And that's where that pureness I'm talking about. Like that pureness when you're really, really, really like bored, like you can't, like this gentleman right here, like you could just tell when he talks, everything is just straight up pure from the heart. And I mean, the life that he had, and I don't want to be disrespectful in any way, what shape or form, but he's been through hell and back, that man. And I mean, losing a father, I'm gripping on the Mayan right now, but the way how he lost his father, all that type of stuff, he was around all during those days. And I just have a lot of respect for him. I have respect for people that can't be bought. Like, you know what I mean? Like Joe Buffalino, I have the most respect for him in the world. Like he's just loyal, can't be bought, this or that. They're not out, like he's not out trying to get an interview with Andrew Tate because Andrew Tate's the biggest thing on YouTube and this and that. And listen, I'm not knocking any of that. I'm just saying my own personal things. I just, what's the word I'm looking for? I just have a lot more respect for the people, though, that are just like just pure, genuine, loyal, do what they say, not fly out here to my house. We'll do an interview, Wade, and I'll never release it. And Wade's got a family, cost him over $2,000 round trip to get out there and all that stuff. And then to not release that, and you guys need, though, to check this out. If anyone new is on, though, I'm going to show, though, another clip, though, of it, though, because I think it's a good four-part series with Billy Catola, who I actually, I like Billy. See, it's easy for people, though, to point the finger and just say, oh, Billy did this and Billy cooperated. Billy, okay, yeah, Billy did cooperate, though, but, if you know the story, what happened though with his father and everything like that. This is just a genre where it's so easy for people though that never know even did anything wrong or whatever to just point the finger and say this or that. But I'm just gonna, and I'm not trying to say anything in Billy's defense, but I'm gonna say it in Billy's defense. He definitely wasn't in the right state of mind when that happened. I mean, the love that he has for his father. I mean, you can't. You can't act that well. I mean, and what he's been through and all that. Sure, it's easy to say, oh yeah, he's this, he's that. Yeah, he admits it. He cooperated, 100% cooperated. Doesn't lie about that. And that's why this series here is very interesting. And I think you guys should all check it out because Chris, he doesn't like cater to him and this or that. He tells it to him like it is. And and then they do talk about a lot of great stories. One story where Chris flew up in the air and came down like Jackie Chan. You guys watch it for yourself. The links are in the description. But Wade, I'm not sure if it was Wade that put that. The guy, I believe it was, but fantastic stuff that he did. And it could actually, hold on, let me just see, because I love to get to all the comments. I'm missing some. What's up, Pete? Rosado, what's going on? I think that's an Italian name that I could get right. Pete Rosado. All right. Wait. No, I got it wrong. It's Pete Rosello. Jesus, I can't get one wrong. Right. Pete, my apologies. If you know the show and you know me, I'm just terrible with last names. No offense. You're 2,000% correct. You corroborated. People still got in trouble. Yes, but Pete, let me ask you this. If you cooperate and nobody gets in trouble, does that mean that you didn't cooperate? See, do people know the rules of that life? You're not even supposed to take a plea, but I think that's a little come on. I mean, John Gotti had a plea back in the Roy Cohn day, back with the McBratney hit. And that's how he was able to get out. And Carlos set that up and everything like that. Then he was made. But pleas are whatever, but you're not even supposed to admit the existence of it. You're not supposed to talk to any, I'm talking about in that life, the rules of that life. You're not supposed to talk to any enforcement whatsoever. Go on YouTube and type in Russell Buffalino talking to the committee. Would you ever imagine that he would ever know? No. The old timers, kept their mouth shut and, meaning that's how it was. His father, Sonny, as stand up as it gets. 100%. I'm just saying the stuff did you ever kill anybody? This and that. And how he placates to that. There's nothing wrong if he says no. I don't think he did. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think he did. And that's a good thing. You know what I mean? That's a positive thing, especially if you're a man of God. It's a positive thing. Because when you're saying, I don't have immunity, and not just saying, no, I didn't, then what are you saying? Think of that. If you're saying, one more time, I don't have immunity, I can't answer that. That's what he said, I believe, on Pierce Morgan and a bunch of other shows. Instead of just saying, no, if you didn't, then what does that tell you? That tells me that he's saying that, yeah, maybe he did, but I don't think he did. And I don't think he needs to, I don't think that makes him I think he wants to be perceived more as yeah, the boss and this and that and all of that. But the truth though, his father was the real deal. Michael though was the money man. And you got to give him credit though in that. I mean, the money that he was bringing in, but I mean, I know for a fact, and I don't want to get into it. There's a few stories that are just bull-faced lies, about Fat Tony saying, oh, we'll just give you $1,200 and stuff like that, this and that. Fat Tony would never do that. You know how much money Fat Tony Salerno had? A lot of money. And meeting with Chin on the bathrobe, walking around, stuff like that. I don't know. I just don't think that born-again Christians lie. And for views and money. That's my take. But I respect how intelligent he is. I definitely respect no one touched him after that life. He was able to get away from that. He did this and that. But then, no, like, watch Patrick Bet-David, and he's saying that he has tapes. He knows where Jimmy Hoff. No, you don't, because he says he's very wet. That's not true. It's not true. Like, you don't need to be, that's where I'm conflicted with the whole God thing, because there's a lot of lies. Jimmy Hoffa isn't real wet. I can't say what happened to Jimmy Hoffa. Stay tuned, but he's not real wet. Let's just put it that way, like he told Patrick Bet-David. So I just think a lot of it is greed. One of the 7 deadly sins. Maybe I'm wrong. Not everyone's going to agree with me. I want people to say, this guy's a fucking idiot, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. That doesn't bother me or affect me, But at least I had the balls to come on here and look you straight in the camera and tell you how I feel. And that life is nothing to glorify whatsoever. I am friends with people, major, like meaning family members from major people that you all know of, that I talk to daily on the phone, and they are still traumatized and all that type of stuff. And I'm talking about just the family members, not the ones that are actually involved. And it started getting glorified, from The Godfather, and that came out and everything, though, like that. But it really isn't, though, something, though, to be glorified, though, about whatsoever. I mean, if it's easy for us, though, who aren't in the mob, to be like, that and this and that in the comfort of our own home. But go out in the street and do all that type of shit, and then come back and talk to me. When you're doing hard time and maximum security and your crew is stealing everything from you and trying to screw your wife, and you think you're going to do the time maximum security? Well, Bobby, I'm talking, though, about, I think old timers like Russell and them, they are doing the time 1,000%. You could have put a blowtorch to Russell Buffalino. He would never talk. I'm talking about what that life, though, states, like what that life is about. If you're asking me that and all that, no. But I'm saying, though, they took that oath. That's what I'm trying to say. They took that oath. And you're right. That's what they do. There's not a lot of loyalty. There's not a lot that they don't take, like back in the old days, they would take care, though, and help out, though, your families and stuff like that. But as time went on, it absolutely did change. But there's no, Bill Catola Jr., who cooperated, even said there's no excuse. There's no excuse. And that life, I'm just saying, that life, what it's supposed to be and what it's supposed to be about is that there's no excuse at all to cooperate at all. Because what they tell you during that oath, if your mother or father is dying, you leave to come to us. That right there already tells you the blueprint of what you're saying there. And I completely understand where you're coming from. There's a lot of cases that I looked at, like a Dominic Montiglio, where you're like, what the fuck do you do? Frank Collada, there's a lot of cases out there, though, that are like that. And I'm not here bashing anybody that cooperates, because I wasn't, though, put, though, to that test. I had a possession charge, though, with fentanyl, and they wanted me, though, to talk. And, and I said no. But that, like, what was I looking at? Just something on my record. I wasn't looking at hard times. So I was never put to the test, so I'm not going to say that. But I'm just saying, though, that, yes, there are people out there that absolutely kept their mouth shut. A lot of them kept their mouth shut. But if you're asking me that question, I can't answer that question, because I don't know, because I was never in that life. And Bobby, he's saying, no, that he didn't cooperate. I'm not trying to drift away into, I'm trying to stay on the topic here. He's saying that he didn't. And Just admit it. Just say I cooperated. There's no, like, I think like people would have more respect though if you just admit it. I mean, what is this?
Was present at Monty's restaurant in Brooklyn when Russo would meet with other managers and fight promoters regarding Antifermo's opponents.
Russo, that's his captain. And he's sitting down talking to the, I mean, that's cooperation. And if people don't understand that, then they don't understand the mob, meaning though what it was supposed to be. But I'll even give you another one, which is why I think it's all bullshit. Lucky Luciano, he cooperated and got Dutch Schultz though put away. We don't hear anything about that ever. One of the guys who pretty much almost laid out the blueprint of the mob worked with law enforcement to get Dutch Schultz arrested. There's so many guys out there that people think though that were stand up though that actually though talk to the law enforcement. It's just it's mind-boggling though with a lot of this stuff. But now, did he try to swindle his, because he is very intelligent and stuff, and swindle the government? Yeah, I do think that's what he did. I think that he played them. And I think that he's very smart for doing that. But we're talking about the rules of Cosa Nostra. And that is a rule that he broke. As simple as that. You can't deny that. 100% broke that rule. Without a doubt. That's all. Just saying for the blueprint of it. The way how he swindled and did this and that. Okay, you can say that's whatever. But he absolutely, though, you can't say didn't cooperate. It makes no sense when it's right there. I had to do it. I couldn't walk. I had to do it. I couldn't walk. Wait, oh, no, retired. Just got my knees done. I am, Bobby, see, Matt, I'm thinking that, I'm like, what, would you cooperate? Like, I have to get on top of these comments. Let me get back on top of them. Rizalo. What's up, Pete? Rizalo. I got it now, my friend. Thank you. No, you still gave names. Pete, around no matter the circumstances. Yeah, that's over time. That's meaning from the rule. Let's take the handbook of Cosa Nostra. That's what I'm talking about. Not, well, this guy, though, was doing this, and I'm talking about, though, the rules of it and all that. They were broken. You can't. There's a guy from around here who still says, no, I didn't cooperate. No, he cooperated. They're like, it's just admit it, well, I mean, especially when he's on film doing it, that's all. And that's not me knocking him or whatever. I was never put to that test. I don't know what I would do. I don't think that I would. Of course, I'm going to say that now, but you don't know until you're there. It's very easy for people that were never put in that situation to say this or that. The reason why I'm saying it the way I'm saying it is because in the rules of Cosa Nostra, that is cooperation, 100%. Nobody went to jail. It doesn't matter. You're not even supposed to admit the existence. Like my old friend Ghost used to say, changing the goalpost. I'm talking about the fabric of original Cosa Nostra. That's cooperation. 100%. You can't deny that. No, you still gave names. Yeah. Big E, he got a pass because he paid his way out. That's what I heard. He had a lot of money. Definitely had a lot of money, and he was a hell of an earner. I'll tell you that. Hell of an earner. Lefty, what's up, my man? Hope all is well with you, buddy. Thanks for being here. Is this Matty, Ironworker? I think that he's talking to Matt. Petey, what's up? When you're doing hard time access on your crew and stealing everything, you're trying. Oh, no, yeah, we already read that, Bobby. No, retired, just got my knees done. I just had The left meniscus. Now 90% of men fold is my point. 90% of men fold is my point. I would, if you're talking like, 90s on, maybe, yeah. But I would disagree with that though, from like, from the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, it wasn't 90%. It wasn't even 50% fold. But that's different though, because there are informants, as I know from all the paperwork that we're doing on our project. There's informants, all the way back to Carmine Lombardozzi, all the way back to Tori, and when was Appalachia? That's 57. So, but I don't know about 90, man. There's a lot of them though that went to jail and kept their mouth shut. A real lot of them. 90% is a very high number. I have to agree to just disagree though with you on that, Bobby. I don't think 90% folded. Now, if you're talking about 88 on, then yeah. But back in the day, no way. Them guys break their oath by trying to fuck their wife. Why aren't they demonized, Well, yeah, but you have to give me, though, exactly, like, give me a situation where that happened. I know that it did, though. I know that does, though, happen. And, yeah, they should be. But, Bobby, you see, you're missing my point. I'm talking about just, like, the whole law book of what Cosa Nostra is supposed to be. That's all I'm trying to say. I understand, yes. Like, why the fuck do the time for them when they're out fucking doing that shit and they're not looking out for you and they're not helping out your family and they're trying to fuck your wife? And yes, I get all that. I understand. I'm just talking, though, about what it was supposed to be and what the rules of it are. I mean, when you take an oath to leave your mother, or like, you think I'm leaving my father at his deathbed? Go fuck yourself. But they took that oath. They took the oath. So I should be demonized if I ever left his side on or whatever, something like that. To me, that's just as fucking bad. That's family. But they took that oath. Period. And I'm not saying that like, ooh, looking down on them, because who am I to look down on them? I was never involved with that. I don't, I was never put to the test, like I always say. Put to the test. So who am I to say this guy? I'm not going to point out single guys who are, and I'm not putting him down for cooperating. I'm just saying that he cooperated. That's all. This guy has a good show. Second time I heard. Thank Pete. Appreciate you. Usually I miss my man Keith. He's on vacation though. It's hard though to do these solo shows, but you guys help though, and ladies help by commenting and all that. So I appreciate you very much. Michael should admit it. I even commented on his channel many times. Well, yeah, and then that's just where though, like the whole part of the Christianity part though thing though comes in. Like, if you're born again Christian and you're pure, you're honest, just be honest. Does he use that? I don't think that. You can't go there. Actually, it's a very touchy subject. You can't go, oh, he doesn't believe in God, because no, I don't think that's the case. I think he definitely believes in God. I just think that he glorifies the life too much for being as religious as he says that he is. That's just my personal opinion. And at the end of the day, who the fuck am I? I'm nobody. I'm just giving my fucking opinion on it. Because if born again Christians, they're just pure and they just speak, like they don't even have to think. So, and the whole, did you kill a guy? Did you not kill a guy? Well, yeah, and then maybe he did. I don't know. But if he didn't, what's wrong with saying I didn't? That's a good thing. I just personally think, I could be wrong, And yes, I'm going to be judgmental here. I think he wants that allure. I think he wants people to think that, because it makes him more like Mafia, bod, this and that. And that's my personal opinion. Petey Loomis is a great guy. Been talking over. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate you. Appreciate you always. Yeah, well, he did. Well, Andy, he's the one that got Dutch Schultz though put away. Well, how come that we never hear about that? It's almost like people take sides. Okay, Whitey Bulger, right? Everyone says King Rat, King this and that. All right, who did he put away? Who did he put in prison? Right? Who, like, for real? Tell me who he put away. But then Danny Greeno was an FBI informant. There were so many other FBI informants though. But Whitey, though, is the King Rat, though. And with all the stuff that I have here, and if you see his informant file, it's a fucking joke. And people don't like when I say that. I personally think John Connolly, and you could tell he was pilfering information for him just to keep him on the street. And since he was Irish, and the FBI just wanted the Italians, because that's how they get promoted and stuff like that, he was able, even though he was fucking worse than them, that's why he was left on the street. But John Connolly was protecting him 100%. Flemmy, I think, absolutely was King Rat. And I know why Morris ran to the Boston Globe. I know he got scared because he asked Whitey to do something that Whitey wouldn't do. And then he went to the Boston Globe spotlight team and sat down with Dick Lair and Gerard O'Neill. And then that's when at first they put it on in the newspaper where people were like, that's just BS. But then when they got caught, then Flemmy admitted. But Flemmy, though, was an informant since 65, though, under H. Paul Rica. But, yeah, okay, Whitey was an informant, but do I think that he's beating going, yeah, this guy's doing this guy? No, I don't. And people don't like that, but whatever. Let's see. What's up, Pete? Loomis, you asked if they talked, but no one got arrested. I say to you, you talk, you still name people. 100%, Pete. I don't know how many times I have to say this, but and I'm not saying it like towards you, but me and you commit a crime. I fucking, get arrested. We both get arrested. I snitch on you, right? You end up having a great attorney. You don't go away. You don't get, you don't go to prison. Does that make me not a snitch? Well, yeah, I told on him, but he didn't go to prison. The logic in that doesn't even make fucking sense at all. At all. I got to go, brother. Getting busy here. Bye, everyone. Yeah, Bobby's at work. Looking forward to seeing you all soon. Bobby, hit me up tonight when you're out. Love you, brother. Thanks for being here. You made some great points. I was just talking about like the rule book of Cosa Nostra and how it was, and how it was supposed to be. Thanks, my man. Love you. Always were rats because people think about themselves instead of the oath they took. And that goes back though to like what it says. You will have to leave the bedside of your mother if she's dying, or you have to come to us. They took that oath, like period. So that's not me though saying, oh yeah, putting any of these guys down that cooperated. I guess I'm just kind of like putting down the ones though that just won't admit though that they did when it's fucking right on fucking camera. Like, you know what I mean? That's, because who am I to put anyone down in that? Because I wasn't put to that test. But for history's sake and all that stuff, yes, you're 100% right, Pete. That's part of the oath. Always were rats because people think about themselves instead of the oath they took. I'd say closer to 65, 70. I'd say maybe like who cooperated from 90 on. Before that, I would say maybe. Are we also talking about informants that we don't know about? Because that ups the number, but I would say it'd be up to like maybe like 45%, 50. The old timers back in the day, the 70s, 80s, like, who do you really have at the Sal Polisi? and he's a liar. You know, he was the first, though, like, you know, after, I mean, Valachi, obviously, but I'm saying, though, from that era going on. So, it just seems that way, guys. But do you know how many mobsters there were? Like, there's, you know, thousands. You know, take the Genovese, take every single family, all 26 families, all of them. And you're saying that no, it's less than that percentage-wise who cooperated. But now, if you're going from a timeline, though, from like 85 up, then I agree with you. Thou shalt not sleep with a member's wife. Yeah, Bobby, I understand, though, what you're saying. But my point, though, being is, though, you have to give me examples of that. And that is absolutely a rule in the mob. But you're making it, though, sound like every single guy, though, who cooperated, though, everyone was trying to fuck their wife. Now, I heard that with Henry Hill, with Paul Vario. I heard that, though, with, listen, I don't glorify the life at all. I think it's not a good life. It's not good whatsoever. So I'm just saying, though, it's an oath, though, that here's all I'm really saying. If you did, then just admit it. That's all. Instead of tipsying around the tulips, then just admit it. And yes, that is a rule. Thou shalt not mess, though, with the member's, though, wife. And if, you know, it's easy for people, though, to call people rats and this and that, or this, you know, but you go to prison, they're not helping you out at all. You know, see, now back in the early 70s, like look at what John Gotti, like Carlo got him, Roy Cohn, this and that. It was different. But then later on, as time went on, it was just, it wasn't what it was. The rules, the goalposts, they are all getting shifted. And that's just a fact. See, I would have taken oath, though, like that, because the second you say, am I leaving my mother or father? I would say, no, like, go fuck yourself. I'm not doing that whatsoever. But if you took, though, that oath, it's a different, though, story. But Bobby, though, does, though, bring up, though, a good point, though. Now, if you take that oath and you are, though, in prison, and then you find out, though, that's one of the member, though, is trying, though, to fuck, though, your wife. I mean, that guy should be clipped, no? It's a very delicate, touchy situation. I get it. I think it's a fun debate. And that's all we're doing here. We're having, you know, we're all agreeing to agree or disagree here. You know, me and Bobby agree on things. We disagree on things. He's like a brother to me. You know, that's what's wrong with this whole world right now, is that everyone has to be right, and they can't just, like, you know, or they don't, or, you know, oh, you voted for this person, so I can't talk to you, or like this or that, or you don't agree with me, so I can't talk to you. Just in general, that's what's wrong with the fucking world. Nobody can fucking talk to people anymore and just be fucking civilized. It's okay if you don't agree on everything. You know, we're different. People have different, like, you know, mentalities and mindset. It's totally okay if someone has different views than you have. Why do you have to hate that person? Like, that's the world we live in today. And it's a crock of fucking shit. It's like, grow the fuck up. Like, oh, he doesn't agree with me. I fucking hate him. Blah, blah, blah. She doesn't agree with my view. Like grow the fuck up. Who cares? Talk about something else and move on. I can't talk to this person because they voted for Kamala, or they voted for Trump, or they voted, so I can't talk to that person. Yeah, and you're a fucking shallow motherfucking fucking fake fuck. Period. That's to nobody, none of yous. I'm just saying in general. The whole world that we live in now is making me sick. You're fine, Loomis. Awesome chat. Thank you. Loomis has the best show in my book. Jesus, thanks, Bobby. I don't think so at all, but thank you very much. It's not a big show, but thank you. Appreciate that. Lefty, what's up, brother? I got to get you on here, though. We'll book you soon. Yeah, but it's also supposed to be a brotherhood who look out for one another and take care of each other when they get locked up. It goes both ways. If people don't hold up their end, how can expect one way? Yeah, that's a great point. 100%. And that goes back to what Bobby is saying. But again, this is the point I think that you guys are missing. All I am saying is if they cooperated, that's all. He says that he didn't. Well, he did. That's all. That's all. I'm not talking about the reasons why or the reasons whatever. Just saying black and white. Cooperated, yes or no? Yes, okay. Now, what were the reasons? And then like Lefty just pointed out, which is a great point. The same thing Bobby though pointed out. And that's actually a rule about the wife. So it's a very fine fucking line. And I just think that it's a great topic and just a good debate. And Franzese happens though just to be the one that the tree that this is all branching off of because of after I watched that 4-part series with Wade and Chris Colombo and Bill Catola and all that stuff, I just thought Chris Colombo made a lot of great points. A real lot of great points. And you guys should definitely watch it. Links in the description. I think money is his God before God. Yeah. Greed, 7 deadly sins. But yeah, I think you nailed it, Frank. In my opinion. That's just my opinion, but I don't know. I think you nailed it. I don't think he ever killed anyone himself. I'm sure he ordered some hits. That's my point then, Bobby, that if he didn't kill anybody, he should just say no. Instead of making it like this allure so people think, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, because he's basically saying yes when he says, I don't have immunity. I can't answer that. Because the only other answer is no. So read between the lines. I'm sure he ordered some hits. Possibly. I think he was just a huge money earner. And, they probably wouldn't even want him fucking doing no hits though after the money though that he was bringing in. Why even though take that risk on him when they have so many other though? Because he's a racketeer, not a gangster. There's a difference. There's racketeers and then there's gangsters, and sometimes you have a little bit of both. But yeah, we'll never know. We'll never know. Like oh my God, it's killing my head. I had a point. Oh, yeah, like Nick says, though, who wrote 2 great books on Springfield, Massachusetts, Nick Parisi, said, like, guys like Sammy and stuff who have the immunity and all that, they could talk about it. But, with Michael, he doesn't have immunity, so we'll never know. So we'll always just, speculate on that. The one with the bigger record takes the hit. Amen to that. Amen to that, Pete. Here's a good debate. When you have cops in your pocket, that's fine. They all had cops in their pocket. So are they rats by oath? No. No, because they're paying cops. They're not giving information. You can pay off cops and have everyone at law enforcement, but giving information is completely different. Giving names is different than having a cop in your pocket. But it's a good question. But, then that means every one of them pretty much then were, if that was the case, would be cooperators, but they all had cops. I mean, how do you think that a lot of them got as far as they were able to get to? They needed cops. From the mid 80s to early 2000s. Oh, well, then I'm with you, Bobby. I'm with you 100%. Yes. 100%. The old timers, no way, but a few, but 100% with what you're saying. you have to factor in people who cooperated and the informants who were never outed or testified. I am Lefty. That's why I just said, well, with the informants, because there's a lot of informants that never, I have informant numbers here through the roof that we don't know who they are, because their names are blacked out on the paperwork and all that. So when you factor in informants, but even though from like the old school days and everything I see like that, because you realize how many soldiers and mobsters from it's not just the 5 families, every family across the United States. That's a high number. I would say back in the old days, I would say it'd be more like 40 and 35, 40% factoring in the informants. What Bobby just said from like the 80s on and stuff like that. He says 90, I'd say like 85%. And that's the point I was trying to say. And that's a great point though, Lefty, because there's informants though out there that people don't even like know about. Unless you do a real lot of digging. And there's people out there too, though, who cooperated, though, that they get a pass from the public for some reason because they like them or something like that. It's just weird. I'm just saying, like, you did or you didn't. And I'm not putting down anyone that did. I never lived that life. I'm just saying the rules of that life, what it was meant for. But at the same time, though, like Lefty said, though, with the brotherhood and all that shit. And that's my point is, why the fuck would you even want to why would you even want to get involved in with a life like that? But you chose to. And yeah, but I could see reasons for but I mean, they're also powerful mob guys, if someone's banging your wife or whatever, then fucking take them out. Make a call. Loomis, not everyone is a stand-up person like yourself. Frank, I'm not. How am I stand-up? I was never even put to the test, buddy. You know what I mean? I can't say I'm a stand-up guy at all. I wasn't put to the test, and that's why I won't put down anyone though that did. That's why I don't even use the word rat. Well, I just said it, but I mean, Bobby knows. I never say rat. Like, no. To me, it's just history. I wasn't involved with it, and that's what it is. Now, if you're family and your family had members involved and they say it, they absolutely, I believe, can say it. But who am I to say it? I'm just saying, though, when he says that he didn't, it's just like, I don't understand how people, like, do they have eyes and ears? And he's on camera cooperating. Like, it's mind-boggling. Just because you like the person, you could still be like, yeah, he cooperated, but I like the person. That's all. Bobby, it depends on if they gave information and also received info. Having a cop in your pocket doesn't make you a rat unless it gives and take. Exactly. Yeah. You could have a cop and be paying him, hey, we're fucking going to be running a fucking casino game up on the fucking 3rd floor here. It might get a little wild. Throw a cop a fucking wad of fucking cash. That's not cooperation. Not to mention, I mean, all the fucking bosses too and all that, though. I mean, they had inside from law enforcement and, crooked cops, and forget about it in Boston, in New York. I mean, everywhere. What's going on? The Going 11. Thanks for being here, my friend. Great to see you. Everyone lies. Yeah, they do until are you talking about like little white lies? Because I mean, I used to, in my addiction, I'd lie. I'd tell you what, if I had a roast beef sandwich for lunch, I had a turkey sandwich. But now, like, I don't. It's hard I can't even lie if I try. It's so weird. Like, I don't lie. I can't lie, because honesty is actually the best way that got me sober. Because I used to be afraid to be honest, and then once I was honest, and I realized, wow, this is okay. Oh, hold on. Hey, Larry, can I give you a call back in 5 minutes? I'm online doing a show. All right, buddy. I love that guy, Larry Rolla. great guy, great book, Against All Odds. Check it out. And check out the video section of his episode I had up. Part 2 will be coming out at the end of this week. Great guy. Jimmy got made into sausages. Did I miss something in the chat there, Lefty? Help me out. Of course, they give the cops information on their competition or somebody they owe money, etc. Not every one of them, though. I mean, you could just pay cops. But yeah. And Bobby, that's what I'm trying to say, too. Like the informants, though, that are out there that people think are stand-up and people don't understand. Like, I mean, Luciano, like, can someone tell me how that's not cooperation? How come we never hear about him, though, being one? Why does he get a pass? It just seems, though, like certain ones get a pass, and I just don't understand that. You either did it or you didn't. And the ones that did it, when they admit it and say, yes, I did it, moving on in my life, I just have more respect, though, for that than just when it's clear as day that you cooperated, to say, yeah, I cooperated. That's all. Where are we at? I don't want to miss any of these because I get confused. Nagone, Franzese made money. He was no tough guy. Well, yeah, he admits that, though. He admits that he's a racketeer and not a gangster. He does admit that. I'll give him that. 100% Nagone. Frank, I need to ask how or who sees how he brought in all this cash but him. I need to ask how or who he brought in all this cash but him. Just ask. Frank, rewrite that if you don't mind, buddy. I do it all the time too when I type. So I understand clearly, because I don't want to answer that and be wrong. Because I have all the respect in the world that everyone here takes the time to even watch a minute of this show. And I try to get to I do get to every comment, and I just want to make sure that I answer respectfully, truthfully, and right. I have stories from my experience on these questions. Well, I know you do, Bobby. I know you do. You guys need to watch The Hard Life of Bobby Bright. That's in the video section. Great interview. I think we did 2 parts on that, Bob. I think one was live, though. I look at the oath as a contract between the person and the organization. If there is a breach of contract on the end of the organization, I don't see why the person should hold up their end. It's a great point, Lefty. Breach of contract, and that goes back to fucking the wife and all this type of stuff. Yeah, 100%. But now we're just talking about informants and stuff like this. That's not what this show. Read the title of the show. But this is still a good debate, though. Like, to have. So have at it. But you got a great point there. We take an oath under God when we get married. 100%. Absolutely. Absolutely. Michael takes credit for the gas scam. It was actually Larry Champagne's idea and scam. He let Michael in on it. Yeah, no, Mike, it was the Russians. Michael didn't come up with it, though. He just perfected it. You know what I mean? He just made it more smart. He didn't come up, though, with it, though. The Russians, though, were already, though, doing that. And then Larry, yeah. And then Michael, though, was the one, though, that started, though, doing it, though, with like a ton of, though, gas stations and all that. But he did not, though, come up, though, with the scam. Even though I think he used to say that he did, but now he says, though, that, it was the Russians and Larry, and now that he just made it, because he is a brilliant businessman. He made it much more lucrative, and the way how he did it was very, very smart and very, calculated, and he's a brilliant businessman. I will never take that away from him. That's my point. Just admit it. Exactly, Frank. That's my point. That's all. I'm the guys. This isn't an episode about why they should or shouldn't cooperate. It's just we brought this topic up because what we're talking about, and all I'm saying is that he did. That's all. And just admit it. I'm not saying anything else. Like, that's it. If you want to talk about every single case that happened in the mob and with this guy and that guy, then we'll be here for hours. But with the topic at hand, just admit it. That's all. And also, there was no going, no banging his wife and all that type of stuff or doing any of that stuff. Just admit it. Like, it's not a good life. Like, I don't know. It's not. Picture every second you don't know if your best friend's going to fucking blow your brains out. Picture every second you're at the mall shopping, you got to be looking over your fucking shoulder. Just picture every second you're laying down. You don't know what every other fucking person in their mind's thinking. You know what I mean? Like, are they coming at me? Or the paranoia, the paranoia of people that are kill you, who could be your best friend, the paranoia of the feds, are they going to be kicking in the door? The paranoia of the money that you have, that, it's just, it's not, like they romanticize it though, like, in movies and stuff. It's nothing like that whatsoever at all. Lefty. Hoffa. What's up about Hoffa? Oh, wait, I missed one, Lefty. Sorry. White ones sometimes despair. Someone hurts feelings, etc. Hoffa. Elaborate on that, Lefty. I lost you there, buddy. We're talking about Jimmy Hoffa now. I lost you there. The definition of a rat varies on who it is, like you said. No, well, the definition of a rat is that if you commit a crime and you get caught and you put the blame on someone else, then that's it. What's the old saying? You can't do the crime, you can't do the time, don't do the crime, whatever that saying is. If you do it and you get caught and you point the finger somewhere else, boom, that's it. I mean, that's at least what I think. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but I mean, to me, that's obvious. Great show, Loomis. We'll definitely back. Gotta run. Thanks, Pete. Appreciate you, man. Hit that like button on the way out if you don't mind, buddy. It helps. And thank you so much for being here, my man. Michael had to pay 10 or 15 million. Yeah, he never paid, though. That's a fact. He never paid. How did that go away, Bobby? And watch Mafia States of America when him and Sammy's asking him that. He never paid. Never. How does that go away? And that's a fact, though, that he never, though, paid. Look into it. That's what he was supposed to pay as for his restitution, and he didn't. So you got to ask yourself, how? How? And even when Sammy's asking him during that, like you could see, he's like, he couldn't come up with, you know what I mean? So how? Besides him saying he brought in all this cash, who else confirms he actually did turn millions over weekly? That I'm not sure. Do I think he elaborates a little bit on the amount of money? I mean, everyone probably does elaborates, but I mean, he was definitely making a lot of money. I mean, he had a fucking, well, think of it this way. He had, I forget how many homes, how many dealerships, cars, helicopter, this and stuff. If he wasn't, though, kicking up big time to Persico, he would have been whacked. You think they're going to let him live that luxurious lifestyle without him, though, throwing up a lot? Because, I mean, he had, a real lot of money. And all the cars, all the properties, he had a fucking helicopter. He was kicking up big. How big? Was it 1.5 million a week, like he said? I don't know. And that's back in 1970 something. That's a lot of fucking money in a week. So it's tough. It's a contradictory story. Life says all about loyalty and honor when there is no honor among thieves and criminals. No, 100%. But again, I'm going back to what the rule book is of what it was supposed to be. That's it, not our personal opinions on it. And Lefty, you're spot on. And Bobby, I understand your points of and you guys are leaning towards why these people cooperate. And I get it, but you can't bullshit me and tell me that nobody cooperated just because they didn't want to do the time. You're telling me that they all had their reasons. Everyone, that's why. Not one of them you're telling me that they didn't just cooperate because they didn't want to do all that time. Come on. Did some have their reasons and personal shit that was going on? Absolutely. But a lot of them didn't want to do the time. Point blank. And you can't change my mind on that. Because then what happens is I don't know. I don't know. I just think that a lot of them just didn't want to do the time. It's as simple as that. And they knew if they could cooperate, they have a get out of jail free card. Now, if I was in the mob in like the 2000s and stuff like that, when it was all over and the way how everything was going, would I sit in prison for the rest of my fucking life? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. That's, but yeah, it's a touchy situation. Yeah, Bobby, that's what he says, but we don't know that. $2 million a week in 1970 he kicked up. Plus, don't forget then about all the money then that he kept for his luxurious lifestyle, for his production company that he had. He was, because he had a fucking film production company, helicopters, fucking cars out the ass. I think he had, I want to say 4 or 5 fucking huge houses all around. He had a bunch of car dealerships, all of that type of stuff. That's astronomical money to kick up a week. No man in the world. Then Michael Franzese, if that's the case, without a doubt, was the biggest earner, hands down, in Mafia history and kicked up the most money, hands down. Made more than Al Capone, made more than, hands down. Because that's $8 million that he's kicking up a month. 8 million. Guys are lucky to kick up 2K, 5K. Because don't forget they have to keep some for themselves to live. So, no, I'm describing the life in general. And actually, there aren't rules. Whoever is at the top makes and chooses the rules to enforce or ignore. Well, no, but there are no rules, though. I mean, when they take the oath, though, they give out those rules. But do they actually do all of them actually keep those rules? No. They change the goalpost. So it's touchy. But then you have to realize, though, Bobby, though, are you then going to just point, though, the finger, though, at the other guy and ruin his life so you can have freedom? You know what I mean? Now, granted, if he's fucking with your family, this or that, whatever, that's a different story. I'm just saying in general, without a doubt, there was people that cooperated just because they didn't want to do the time. That's a fact. I don't care if anyone doesn't believe me or not. That's a fact. I'm not talking about Franzese here. I'm just saying in general, 100% people cooperated because they didn't want to do the time, period. There's definitely people who also cooperated because of situations like Bobby and Lefty are talking about. 100%. So, great show, Loomis. Gotta run, be well. Yeah, we're going on 1 hour and 40, almost over. My previous statement had nothing to do with that's just the life and how ridiculous it is. It's a free-for-all. Well, yeah, it absolutely, though, is. And I like, Lefty, what you're saying, though. And I'm not here trying to put down anyone that, I'm being impartial. I'm just saying, though, what the rules of that life, though, are supposed to be. Nobody really, we could end the show with this. What the rules of that life were supposed to be, nobody really lived it that way after the old type timers. Like nobody really, though, they didn't. I mean, there are though some old timers who absolutely did and kept their mouth shut. And was it worth it for them? Was it worth it for their families? Was it worth it for all that? Well, that's on them. They took that oath, all that stuff. That's on them. You know, and again, I'm not judging any of them. I'm just pointing out what the rules were supposed to be and how shit just got fucking moved around for personal, you know, like for personal preference or personal gain. Like, you know, if they moved it this way to suit them, but if someone else did that, then they couldn't. So it's just all. I knew it was going to be like a touchy little topic though tonight, and you know, I like though, you know, I love though how we can have though these great discussions back and forth. And I love everyone in the chat because nobody's going, well, I'm not right. You know, how our world is today. So I appreciate you all. Thank you very much. The gas scam was considered one of the biggest scams ever run by the mob. Yeah. I mean, he probably was the biggest earner in Mafia history. If you're bringing in 2 million, if you're kicking up, not bringing in, you're bringing in way more than 2 million. If you're kicking up 2 million, that's like, even his own father's like, you know, you give like 35, I think it was like 35% or like 25% up to the boss, 75 put in your pocket, or it could have been vice versa or whatever, though, because on the first thing, he had a bunch of meat or whatever, and he kicked up way too much. And his own father is like, no, you never kick up that much. So if you're kicking up 2 million, imagine what you're actually making a week. That's insane. Yo, absolutely. And the people that wore wires and baited friends, family, and mentors out of vengeance, envy to save their own ass. Yeah, but the old timers were looked after, family was taken care of, and people did what they were supposed to do. So they held up their end of the agreement, verbal contract. Yeah, 100%. It was totally a different time. That's like what I was saying. Like my guy around here, Buffalino, that was a different time. Me and Joe were talking one time. He put a blowtorch to him. He's not cooperating. It's just not happening. They come though from a different era. But I think then when I had a great talk with Angela Pisano, and that episode will be dropping next week, and she even said, like, after the commission trial and everything like that, it was just, the writing was on the wall, and it was just a free for all, each man for themselves. So you have to break it up in dates or years categories. But you're right, Lefty, with the old timers. Scott Bernstein, Dr. Loomis, where you been, Scott? Great to see you. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Keith for even saying hello. Keith will be back next week for our weekly episode live stream. I figured to dip my toes back into do a little live mob stuff because I haven't talked about it in a while. But this was fun, and I want to thank everyone who tuned in and joined the chat. I don't want to end it though with that. I am not putting down anyone who cooperated. I don't have any room to talk or to walk. I was never put to the test. I was just talking about the rules of that life. Simple as that. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate you, brother. Now a person gets knocked for doing something for the organization, and his brothers take everything they can, leave them to rot penniless, and in some cases hurt their families. Wait, I'm sorry, I read that wrong at first. Now a person gets knocked for doing something for the organization, and his brothers take everything they can, leave them to rot penniless. And so, yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. And Lefty, it's easy though for people though to be like rat. That's why I don't use the word, because I was never put to the test. All I want is, and guys, don't forget, check out that series though with Wade. I'm going to play a couple clips before we end the show, but 4-part series with him and with Chris Colombo And the links are in the description. Taking Action with Chris Colombo and Wade's channel, Crime and Entertainment. And then here's a little clip.
Looking back, do you think that the pain and the anger you felt from losing your dad, who I can tell throughout this interview, you've gotten emotional a number of times, you love dearly. That's obvious. And you stated that in many interviews. And I think anyone can just look at your face and tell you how much your dad meant to you. Do you think that just overtook so much that you didn't maybe listen to maybe a message from him? Like, what would he do in that position?
You know, that's a great question. I felt like I was having multiple feelings. The first feeling was to go out and to hurt people.
Now, Wade is being the basically the moderator there, and it's Chris Colombo who is also though talk. This is from the same series, Talking Back.
God, where was he? He was lost. People know I spoke with on a thing. I never speak with him personally. Michael Franzese, but son, he was there when I died. Most stand-up guy in the world. And his nonsense. You think he's a happy character? Trying to make who he is, what he is. Oh, he's affecting children in the wrong way. It'll ruin your life. What is the message you're saying? Rob, steal, kill your friends, kill anybody you want, go to work for the government, kill, then become an informant, write a book.
And then right here.
Michael Franzese, I'm going to tell you the truth. If every time he lied, my nose grew, forget about it. I could tickle Thailand. I would go around the world in 80 days. I could forget about Elon Musk. Every time one of these informants I see on TV lie, Sammy the Boy, and they lie. You don't think they lie in a courtroom? Don't you think they pass their sins to other people? Don't they make themselves look like heroes? If every time they told the non-truth, Elon Musk would not have to build that rocket to Mars. You could walk on my nose to get there. Like Pinocchio, every time they lied. So people got to learn not to be directed or pass hate if they don't absolutely know. I couldn't absolutely tell you what's the truth if it comes from an informant. I listen to them live, for example. And if I hit this gong, I'm pretty upset.
So that's the series, guys. The link in the description to both channels is the link is in the description. Give me a follow on Instagram. I always put a lot of clips up on there. The link to my Instagram is on there. And the link to the Buffalino family page is also in the description as well. I want to thank everyone who watched, everyone who participated. There's Wade right there, Crime and Entertainment. Thank you for being here, Wade. I appreciate you, my friend. Rodney, I appreciate you. Catola Jr., a good guy. I like Billy. I think Billy's a gentleman, and it's easy for people to point fingers for what he did, but I'm thinking about me and like my father, and you know how I talk about my father and with what's going on with him, the love that I have for my father and everything like that. It's easy for people to point fingers and do this and that, but again, until you're tested and put in that situation, you don't know what the fuck you're going to do. And that's what I think. Catch 22, I believe in having honor, but on the flip side, you do anything you can to win anything. Survival of the fittest by any means necessary. Yeah, but by putting people away, that if they are, your friends, and they're not fucking your mother and all that stuff, like Bobby was saying, I don't know. I wasn't tested. It's just, but I hear you, Lefty. Survival of the fittest. Loomis is the real deal. Kevin Donaldson, what's up? The Suffering Podcast. Great podcast right there. I was a guest on it. Definitely, guys, check out his podcast. It's fantastic. Thank you for being here, Kevin. Appreciate you. Guys, Crime and Entertainment as well. Wade, you put together a beautiful, beautiful 4-part series. Check it out. The links are in the description, guys, and it takes you right to their channels. And check out the Catola, Chris Colombo, and Wade series. Fantastic, great content. And with that, Rodney, thanks for coming in. With that, we are done. Keith, I hope you're soaking up that vacation, my friend. Well deserved. And we'll see you next Wednesday, everyone, at 7 p.m. Eastern. And with that, it's a wrap. And this was a great debate. And I had fun. So thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time on The Loomis Show. Hit that like button, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next time. Have a beautiful week. Take care now.
There were countless heroes on that September morning when the Washington Navy Yard was just thrown into utter chaos.
But that was just me like screaming out because I didn't want to deal with it.
I knew I was addicted, and I tried to stop on my own, and I couldn't.
It's okay to ask for help.
Or survive like an alcohol or substance abuse problem. You know, it's just, I've never seen it.